really a strong knowledge of Honda to put from existing vehicles, motorbikes, together and from the spare parts of them, a new vehicle which makes a new class itself. They have the x-adv350, which is a really good, we can say scooter, but that's not really a scooter, as that's a two-cylinder engine and a DCT transmission. And they have the Forza 350, which is a great mid-size scooter, but the only weak point of that is the front suspension. And from these two, now they made the ADV350, which can be one of the best scooters in its class. The design itself is really the same as the Forza 750 was, so the same sharp lines, the same very typical face with the lamps and everything else. Of course, we can find the differences easily. For example, the wheels are not spoken, but normal wheels, we have only a simple brake disc in the front, and in the rear section the exhaust is not so short and so high lifted, so it's a different design. And of course, if we check the whole vehicle itself, you can see the main difference, that we do not have a middle engine with a DCT, but we have a normal scooter CVT system with a different positioned engine. But the whole silhouette itself is absolutely the same what Honda started with the Forza 750. Let's speak about the main difference which makes the ADV350 really unique, that it has a normal motorbike suspension in the front. So we have two upside down telescopic forks, relatively long travel, especially in the 350 cubic centimeter scooter class, because this is a scooter, this is a normal scooter, but the front suspension is a normal motorbike suspension, and just that's why the maneuverability, especially at high speeds, and the whole riding experience of the bike is totally different from the scooters. Although the suspension sportivity is very good when you are riding on good roads, but when you are riding on road mistakes like this, they are really hitting, especially the positive ones, these are really hitting extremely great ones. I do one more, wow, and I have to switch off the traction control F, and when you are leaving the asphalt and riding on bumpy, unpaved road, then you will say after it that this scooter is not built for this. The engine itself, it's a normal one-cylinder scooter engine, and the cubic capacity became exactly 50 cubic centimeters bigger than in the case of the Forza 300, which we already make a review about here in our channel was. Now it is exactly 330 cubic centimeters. All the parameters, power, torque, became higher than in the case of the Forza 300 it was, but because of its Euro 5 emission, you don't really feel it stronger. But the knowledge of this bike, this scooter, is totally enough in the traffic. The acceleration, the top speed, it's around 140-45 kilometers per hour easily, so that's a traveling speed, not the top speed. It's absolutely enough for riding inside the traffic, and the sound of the exhaust is all the time pretty nice. The power of the ADV350 is absolutely enough for the normal road. This is not a full throttle acceleration, I'm just really rolling with the bike. And not only the power what makes it really a great thing to ride it, but the knowledge of the suspension with this front suspension when you are making curves. They are really a joy. It's really a pleasure to make a curve and then pull the throttle and accelerate out. So it's really a big motorbike pleasure what you get when you are riding it. Our dashboard is a pretty simple but absolutely informative inverse LCD unit. We have three information lines. On the top one we can see the outside temperature and the voltage of the bike. In the middle one we can see average consumptions and elapsed times, and in the downer one we can see the two daily counters and the overall and the range, which is a very important thing. We can also see the RPM of the bike. In the left upper corner, the traction control, which has two different setups, and you can also switch it off. And of course, which is there is nothing to say wrong about this dashboard, except only one thing, that it's a typical knowledge, let's say knowledge of the Japanese motorbikes, that the outside temperature here, now it is 21 degrees exactly, and we are in a shadow, but as we stopped with the bike and the temperature got the heat of the engine, now it is showing 31 degrees, 10 more. Why cannot they solve this for approximately 10 years? I really do not able to imagine. To change all the things in the menu is very easy, because we have a button on the left handlebar which we can move in 4 different directions, and we can change everything from this. We have only one button for the lights. We can very easily change the traction control. We also have an emergency indicator and a normal indicator and the horn. The only problem for me it was that a lot of cases when I was riding with the bike I changed the horn and the indicator, but of course if you ride the scooter for a few days, then it's going to be an automatic thing. And it's also very good that we do not need a key. I mean, we have a key but inside our pocket, and we only have to change this small turning in the middle of the fairing. You can close the bike from it, and you can also give the ignition. You only have to start from the right handlebar, and from the correct position you can open the refueling place and the seat also. The brake system is absolutely the same as it was in the Forza 300 and now in the Forza 350, so there is no difference, but because of the better front suspension, the braking feeling when you have to really make an emergency braking, I think it is much better. In a case of a scooter, it's extremely important the normal everyday usability, which needs a lot of carrying spaces. We have very good space under the seat, very big. Even a closed helmet, the rain suits, the rain gloves, and a lot of other things have place, so it's really giant. If you take out your helmet, your laptop is easily have enough place under it, and to close it down it's also not a problem with the closed helmet under it. And we have one more space in the fairing on the left side of it. This is especially for your mobile phone. There is a USB-C socket to charge it, and it's pretty big because my huge Chinese phone is also have so much space that it fell inside it, so all the phones will have enough space in this socket. The seat position is extremely comfortable, but really because we have a pretty high position, pretty wide normal handlebar, and the whole upper body position is totally straight all the time. You have enough place for your legs. There are 2 possible leg positions, so you can keep it like this and you can keep it like this as well. Of course, in this position for most of the people it's going to be more comfortable, and you can keep your body when you are making, for example, really hard braking, but both of them are really good. The only problem for the longer legs guys like me is going to be that when making narrow maneuvers you have to pull your knee absolutely close to the fairing, because if we open it wide then the factory handlebar is going to hit it. And if we think about the passenger position, it's also really good. Big seat, good leg position, good keeping position, so everything is maximally comfortable, especially with the factory top case. The ADV350 have a pretty big wind protector, but it makes a lot of wind noise, especially with my height, so shorter guys are going to be more lucky. But you can change it in a pretty big area. I stop for a moment and show it to you. You do not even have to leave the rider's position. It has 4 different places where you can fix them, and in the downest one, well, then the
scooter is really like a naked bike, so you get a lot of wind. And of course this one is going to be much better, for example, summertime in a hot big city.
The ADV350 is typically that vehicle which you are going to use all the year and every day. So the extra features you can buy from Honda factory are really important. There are not too much, but they are really important. One of them is the heated grip. It's really worth to buy it. And the other one is the factory top case, which is also very good, because that's a smart top case. If you buy that, then you are not going to have to use different key, but with the factory key in your pocket, you just walk to the scooter, you can open it, and when you leave the scooter, it's closing itself without your interruption. Let's sum what kind of motorbike and scooter the new ADV350 became. I have to say that the Honda technicals made a really great work, because the power, the knowledge, the comfort, the everyday usability are absolutely on the top, and with this front suspension it's a real motorbike riding experience to ride it, so it's a pleasure to ride it every day. The only problem what they have to make a little bit better in the front and the rear suspension, of course, also that it had to be a little bit softer, especially on the bad, poor quality roads, from which in Hungary we have a lot. And on top of all this, the price of it is also related to its rivals. It's also absolutely good and correct.
If you like the ADV350 Honda and liked our review about it, then please push a thumb up. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe for our channel and watch our previous contents as well, and thanks a lot for your kind attention.